Hey everyone, for the latest edition of Getting Into the BiZ, I want to talk about the importance of gear. Those of you who have followed my show know I've joked a couple of times already about people who wrestle without gear, but I've never really gone into the specifics as to why it's important. And apparently I need to address this issue because I've gotten some comments from people wondering what the big deal is about gear. Aside from your training and your physical health, your wrestling gear is the most important thing you can invest in. It lets people know that you are a professional and you take it seriously. This is, after all, called professional wrestling. When you watch the NFL, would you take a player seriously if he wore Converse on the field instead of cleats? If you're watching a professional golfer, you saw him wearing jeans, would you think very highly of him? If the answer to that is no, then why would you take a professional wrestler seriously for not wearing the proper gear in a match? Just like being on a sports team or some 9-to-5 jobs, wrestling has a dress code. It's got a uniform. You wear the right equipment for the job you do in your life, and the same thing applies to wrestling. Part of the appeal of professional wrestling is to the fans, the wrestlers look larger than life. They look like celebrities. Now, if you come down to the ring wearing jeans, a t-shirt, and sneakers, where's the allure? Where's the celebrity status? You look like everyone else just pulled off the street. A lack of gear enforces the negative stereotype that anyone can get into professional wrestling. To me, it's just an insult to say you're a professional wrestler and look so unprofessional in the ring. Even if you don't plan on going to WWE in the future, even if you look at wrestling as a hobby, being a hobbyist is not an excuse to not have gear. Now, before you tear my head off in the comments section, yes, I am very aware there are some famous wrestlers out there who don't have traditional wrestling gear. People like... But here's the thing, of all the people who have ever made it famous in professional wrestling, those guys on that list are in the 1%. They are the exception to the rule, and chances are, you ain't it. Furthermore, every wrestler you could ever name who got famous wrestling in their street clothes, they all at some point wore traditional gear when they started wrestling. They only made the switch when it fit their character. There's another sticking point, the gimmick. A lot of people will say, well, my gimmick, he's a truck driver or a soldier or a redneck. He doesn't need to wear wrestling tights or boots. You know, and you might think that's true, but you can still incorporate some traditional gear into that gimmick, like a singlet, some kind of colored singlet, or boots. You can still do that. You can have a punk rock gimmick and still wear tights. Just like being a hobbyist, having a non-wrestler gimmick is not an excuse to not have gear. Some of you might not want to wear wrestling boots like these. They might be uncomfortable to you, might be out of your price range, and that's okay. One way around that is get some amateur wrestling shoes and then cover them up with kick pads or some other kind of sleeve. There are guys in WWE today who do this. Do you need elbow and knee pads? Well, I guess that's a matter of personal preference. It all depends on how much you value the long-term health of those parts of your body. Some people don't want to wear tights because they don't think they have the body for it, or it doesn't feel right to them. You know, they can work around that by getting baggy shorts or baggy pants made of a pleather material. They're more lightweight than jeans, and you can move around in them easier. If you're looking for a place to get custom wrestling gear, I recommend you go online and do some research there. I mean, there's eLucha and there's High Spots. Those are the two big places that everyone knows about. Then there's a lot of other smaller mom and pop places online that make custom gear. When it comes down to it, investing in the proper wrestling gear shows you have a respect for the business, shows you respect your peers and the people who have come before you. Much like the training, buying that kind of gear does cost a lot of money up front, but it will almost always pay off for you in the long run. Got any more burning questions on how to get into the wrestling business? Post them in the comments section and I'll do my best to answer them. Be sure to check my previous installments of Getting Into the BiZ to find out more. Be sure to thumbs up this video, subscribe to Wrestling with Regret, and buy the t-shirt. I'm Zane, and I'll see you next time.